please remain standing while the members of the Madison Police Department Honor Guard present the flags, and please join in the singing of our national anthem led by the DSU Choir. Please be seated. I should note that if it gets a little warm in here, we'll apologize for that, but it could have been in December when we had to postpone this a day, so we should be all very pleased and happy with the state of the weather today. As president of Dakota State University, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 127th spring commencement ceremony. I kind of enjoy the fact that I kind of get the first word and I get the last word today, because that isn't always the case. And interestingly, the word that comes to mind is congratulations. It seems to be, in fact, often the first and the last word at a ceremony like this. Now, as the president of South Dakota's lead information technology university, I'm not sure I should admit this, But I did a rather old-fashioned thing, and I actually pulled a Webster's dictionary off the shelf. Yeah, I was surprised that I still had one, quite honestly. And I looked up the word congratulations, and it means to wish joy or to express pleasure to a person on account of success or good fortune. Now, I really like the idea of wishing all of you joy. In the midst of these world events, the economic turmoil of our times, and the challenges facing us, I, for one, am going to revel in the joy of this day. I'm going to revel in that joy because I know that in this hall today are a group of incredibly bright, dedicated, persistent, creative, and courageous men and women who will take the skills, the knowledge, and the wisdom that they have developed here at Dakota State University into that world that needs so badly those characteristics. The second half of that definition differentiated between success and good fortune. Well, I believe that part of your great good fortune was that all of you made the choice to pursue your education at this very dynamic institution. I also know absolutely that your success was based on a lot of hard work and motivation. As I now set the stage for the congratulatory moments that are a part of these ceremonies, I would ask that you think about one additional thing. A couple of weeks ago, I had the chance to hear DSU Professor Justin Blessinger speak to one of our honor societies on campus about the concept of allegiance. And I would ask that as you look at the seal of the university, and as we sing together at the end of this ceremony our alma mater, that your pride in this institution, that your pride in the fact that you are graduating from Dakota State University, and the fact that by all measures, this university is held in high esteem by those who make judgments about the quality of our universities. So congratulations as the first word, and later I will make it my last word to you also today. We have a couple special guests in the audience that I would like to introduce and have them stand to be recognized. The first special guest is the First Lady of the state of South Dakota, Linda Dugard. Linda is with us today. Linda? Maybe that was a little too familiar. I said First Lady Dugard instead of Linda. Okay. The other individual that's here with us today is Russ Olson, the state senator for our district and the current Senate Majority Leader. Russ, will you rise and be recognized? Now I am honestly humbled, honored, and extremely pleased today to welcome as our guest speaker the gentleman that holds the highest elected office in the state of South Dakota. Dennis Dugard grew up on his family's dairy farm between Garrettson and Dell Rapids. He graduated from USD in 1975 with a BS in government and minors in mathematics and psychology. He then attended law school at Northwestern University in Chicago. In 1978, he passed the Illinois bar exam and worked in the Chicago area for 3 years before returning to South Dakota. From 1981 to 1990, he worked for what is now U.S. Bank in Sioux Falls. Dennis was ultimately promoted to vice president and was responsible for trust administration and new business development in eastern South Dakota. In 1990, he left the bank to become the development director of the Children's Home Foundation, the fundraising arm of Children's Home Society of South Dakota. Dennis worked for 12 years in that position until becoming the executive director of Children's Home Society of South Dakota in 2002. Dennis left Children's Home Society in 2009 to focus full-time on his campaign for governor. He became involved in politics in 1996 when he defeated the incumbent and was reelected by wide margins in 1998 and 2000. In June 2002, Mike Rounds selected him to be his running mate as a Republican nominee for lieutenant governor. The Rounds-Dugard team was elected in 2002 and reelected in 2006. Dennis Dugard was elected South Dakota's 32nd governor on November 2nd, 2010. I was surprised and so pleased that not long after his election, we received word that he would accept our invitation to speak at this commencement. As someone, myself, who was away from this state for a while and came back, I know what it is to be in love with this place and this state. Now, the governor and I might not agree 100% of the time about issues related to higher education, but I'm going to tell you one thing that I know absolutely for sure. This is a man of great integrity and a great passion for South Dakota. So please join me in welcoming the Honorable Dennis Daugaard, Governor of the state of South Dakota.
Thank you. Oh, you don't need to do that. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Well, I can see the excitement in your faces. You know, everyone is always excited, especially the graduates. I know if I was in your position, I'd be thinking things like, how long is that guy going to talk? Well, Linda was introduced earlier. She's here to supervise me. And I also saw one of your former professors, Gerald Lang. He was a legislator with me. He's here today. And it reminded me of something he said when he was in committee one day and people were offering testimony and they were just going on at length, and it was a long committee hearing and they were just going on. And then Representative Lang got up to speak, and he wanted to reassure everyone that he wasn't going to be so long-winded. And the way he put it is, as Henry VIII told his many wives, I won't keep you long. President Knowlton also told me in the back about this screen up above, and he said, if they're looking up above your head, it's either because they want to see you better or you've become kind of boring and we've switched to Desperate Housewives up there. So I'm hoping it's not Desperate Housewives. One last reassurance about the length of my speech. You know, when you're in this political world, especially when you go out on the campaign trail, you give speech after speech after speech, and you try to get better. And one day I was thinking about a speech I had to give that night. I was getting ready, and I'm thinking about the speech, and I cut my chin, and I cut it pretty badly, and it was bleeding, and you know how a head wound bleeds. So I put a big bandage on it, and that night I'm giving the speech, and I felt like I should explain what had happened. And I said, well, I was thinking about my speech, and I cut my chin. And I went on to give the speech, and at the end of the speech, Linda came up and said, Dennis, honey, next time, think about your chin and cut your speech. So Linda's very frank with me, and she's, you know, a good advisor, and she's here to supervise. I'd like to say three things to you graduates back there. Today's an important day in your life. And the first thing I want to do is ask you to, as President Knowlton asked you, to remember Dakota State. You know, one chapter in your life is ending, and you're turning the page on a new chapter in your life. A great adventure lies ahead in some ways, whether it's a new job or a new location or on to further studies. I ask you to remember Dakota State University, because I believe you'll look back on these days, these past days here at DSU, as some of the best days in your lives. DSU is a great university, and you know that. They were among the first in the nation to integrate technology across the entire curriculum, years and years before other universities even thought about doing that. U.S. News and World Report, you all know, named DSU top in its class this year for the fifth year in a row, top in its class. You're home of the National Center for the Protection of Financial Infrastructure. You're a regional center for health information technology. DSU is a quality place. Now, for many of you, your college days at DSU brought your first experiences as an independent adult, out from under mom and dad's watchful eye. You made your own decisions. You lived your own life, maybe for the first time, outside their guiding hand. And I hope you'll remember these days, because they truly are days to remember. You remember those tough classes, and maybe the easier ones too. Maybe one of your professors became more than a professor, a mentor, and a trusted friend. Maybe you pulled an all-nighter studying for a test. I'm sure none of this class did that. Some of those other classes did that when they weren't prepared. Some of you will remember being downtown at midnight at the stadium, taking a break from studying, and then rush back to the library. You'll remember gathering at Trojan Field for those football games, the crisp air and the cheering crowds and winning and having a great day. Maybe you'll remember evacuating the residence halls in freezing weather because someone pulled the fire alarm, or someone's microwave popcorn did the job. How about returning from several weeks of Christmas vacation and that well-intentioned RA had unplugged your refrigerator for you, didn't know about that pastrami sandwich that you'd been saving, and it was a little bit green. Whatever you remember these times here. Fix them in your mind, because they will be some of the best days of your lives. You all made new friends here. Some of those friendships will endure for the rest of your life. Some of those friendships you'll renew when you run into someone from DSU years from now, and you'll laugh and remember about your times together. Some friends you'll maintain year after year. Some of you maybe even met your spouse here, and you'll remain friends and be with each other every day for the rest of your lives. But whatever you do, remember DSU, because it's been a great institution for you and a big part of your life. The second thing I'd like you to remember or offer, that I'd like to offer today is, I'd like you to encourage you to look forward to the future with big dreams. I know that sounds so trite. It sounds so trite. But whatever it's grad school or work or the military or whatever it is, I hope you'll have a big dream and then be persistent and determined in pursuit of it. You know, we South Dakotans, we sometimes think of ourselves as not able. We come from a rural state. We're sparsely populated. I think the media, particularly television and movies, create the notion in us that to be a big success, you need to be in Los Angeles or New York or Chicago. We tend to think of others as the big doers in the world instead of ourselves, and I think we underestimate ourselves. Many philosophers over time have expressed this same notion that our own mind will sometimes be the greatest barrier that we face in our lives. Anais Nin said it this way: we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Carl Jung said it another way: it all depends on how we look at things, not on how they are. The point I'm making is, don't limit yourself. Don't let others condition you into thinking, I can't do that, or I can't be that. You can do great things if you're determined and persistent, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. How many of you have been to the State Game Lodge in Custer State Park? Any of you? My daughter Laura, when she was in college, worked at the State Game Lodge at the front desk, helping with the tourism traffic, checking people in and out of the game lodge. And I went out to visit her and see where she was working out there, and she took me through the game lodge, and there is a set of rooms there called the Coolidge Suite. And it's named after President Calvin Coolidge, and maybe some of you know why. In the early part of the century, in the 1920s, President Coolidge and his wife Grace came to South Dakota for a vacation. These were in the days before air conditioning, And it got very hot. There's a lot of hot air in Washington in those days, and a lot of humidity in the summer, too. So the president and the cabinet and the Congress often left the Capitol for those hot, humid days and went elsewhere. And President Coolidge came to South Dakota, and he intended to stay for 3 weeks. They ended up staying for 3 months, and they made the State Game Lodge the summer White House. Here we were in South Dakota, the president, 3 months. But I tell you about that not because of wanting to giving you a history lesson. Maybe you already knew that, but because of something Calvin Coolidge once said. And when I read that, I cut it out and I put it on my desk, and I've had it with me for over 20 years. And when I left Children's Home Society and went to work in Pierre, I brought it with me, and it's on my desk in the state capitol. Something Calvin Coolidge said. He said this: "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Even education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." Now, President Coolidge wasn't demeaning education. You've got a tool today that can make you successful, but it must be paired with persistence and determination. There is omnipotence. So, as you face your new adventure in the days ahead, you have the education you need. Now, add persistence and determination to it. Think big, be persistent, be determined, be omnipotent. Dakota State has given you the tools, so use them. One last thing I wanted to tell you today is something my cousin told me a while back. And I've said it in other forums. Maybe you've heard me say it before, but it is very important. And today, maybe the most important thing that I can tell you today. Don't forget Joe. Don't forget Joe. Joe Mama and Joe Daddy and everyone that loves you. Many parents and grandparents and others who love you are here to celebrate this day with you. In the accomplishments of life, it's hard to celebrate when you're alone. Ask someone who is alone. I want to tell you about my family. I grew up on a farm near Del Rapids. We had a dairy farm. I got up and milked cows with my dad every morning and every night. Went to a one-room school. Back in those days, I was the only kid in my class. So I was at the top of my class, I guess, now that I think about it. Back in those days, we had Christmas programs every Christmas. We'd string a wire across the front of the one-room school and hang burlap curtains. And the kids would sing Frosty the Snowman, or we'd do little one-act skits. We'd recite poems. And our parents would always come, and my parents never missed the program. Then after 7th grade, the country school was closed and consolidated into the Del Rapids School District, and I started riding the bus to Del's. I joined the band, even though the other kids in my class had been practicing their instruments for several years. I was behind, but I joined the band, and we'd have concerts in the Del Rapids gym on the stage, set up the folding chairs in the audience, just like you are sitting on right now. And my parents would come, and I'd get on stage with the other band members and look in the crowd and find my parents, and they were always there. And I joined the chorus, and we'd get up on that same stage and sing our spring concerts, and my parents always came to that too. And some of you can probably guess where I'm leading, but some of you may wonder, well, what's the big deal about that? Parents should always come to hear their kids recite a poem or play in the band or sing in the chorus. But my parents didn't come to hear me because, you see, my parents couldn't hear at all. My parents were deaf. They were born deaf. They would come and sit on those chairs for 2 hours, and all they could do was see mouths moving or fingers moving on an instrument. Think how boring that must have been, how terribly boring. But they never missed. They didn't come so they could hear me. They came so I could see them and know that they loved me. And so it is today. The people in this crowd really don't care what I have to say. They don't really care much about the people up on this stage or most of the people in the audience. They're here for one or maybe two of you, and you're the one they care about. So we all want desperately to be loved and approved in this world. And it is days of celebration where we want those people who love us to be present. And so they are. So as you look forward to your new life, I know you're focused on your apartment or your job or your spouse or your move or whatever it is. Those things that in your mind are the great adventure ahead. And that's good. You should be focused on that. But as you focus on that, don't forget the people who made it possible. Don't forget Joe. Okay? So, I'm going to close now. I'll tell you, I try not to forget Joe in my world, too. I talked a little bit about the campaign trail and getting elected, and then immediately after the election, you think a guy could have a breath, but you launch right into hiring a cabinet and hiring governor's staff and putting together a budget that's not fun to put together, trust me. And then the legislative session's on you, and then finally the session was over, and within the last couple months, we've had a moment or two to breathe once in a while. And one night, Linda and I are in Pier, and of course we've got this monstrous house that we live in, pretty amazing. The house is so big there, that the house that we built on our farm, the living room and the bathroom and the laundry room are kind of in a cluster. They have a bigger footprint than our house. So we're kind of fumbling around in there. But we're sitting out back one night, and there's a nice pond out back, and the sun was setting, and we were both having a glass of wine, relaxing, and Linda looked down, and she said, "I love you." And I said, "Well, wow, Linda, is that you talking or the wine?" and she said, "No, it's me talking to the wine." So, dream big, and may your dreams come true.
Thank you, Governor Dugard, for those words, for your dedication, and particularly for your presence with us here today. Dakota State is honored to count among its graduates and friends many outstanding leaders, such as the individual we are recognizing today. I now call upon Jesse Wise, Vice President for Student Affairs, to assist me in the presentation of this award.
The Distinguished Service Award is presented to a person whose dedication to serving their community, state, or country is an inspiration to Dakota State University students and alumni. Today we are pleased to recognize the Mayor of the City of Madison, Mr. Gene Hexum, with the Distinguished Service Award. And I ask Mr. Hexum to please come forward. Gene Hexum was born and raised in the Madison area. He attended Beadle Grade School and Beadle High School, which were located on the DSU campus. He is a 1959 graduate of Dakota State University with a Bachelor of Science in Education. Mr. Hexum taught English and speech for 1 year at Del Rapids Public High School. He then joined the East River Electric Power Cooperative in Madison in 1960 and worked for over 36 years in public and member relations and sales marketing positions until his retirement in 1997. Since retirement, Mr. Hexum has served as a substitute teacher in the area schools, has done sport and feature writing, and has written historical books. He is involved in lay ministry work with local churches and sings with several area groups. He has served on numerous professional and civic advisory boards, volunteering his time in many areas of interest. During DSU's 125th anniversary celebration in 2006, Mr. Hexum volunteered his time to portray General William Henry Harrison Beadle, former president of Dakota State. He spent countless hours making presentations to community groups and area schools about the early years of DSU. His outreach activities were invaluable in promoting the university across the region. Mr. Hexum has also served as a past member of the DSU Alumni Association Board. He was elected mayor of Madison in 2006 and continues to serve in that capacity. Mr. Hexum and his wife, Marilyn, have 4 children and 8 grandchildren. Dr. Knowlton, on behalf of the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Dakota State University, I commend to you Mr. Gene Hexum to receive the Distinguished Service Award.
Governor Dugard, Student Regent Weber, President Knowlton, platform guests, faculty, graduates, and guests. Thank you so much. I am humbled and gratified to accept this recognition. Throughout my life, I've been wonderfully blessed in so many ways, and this award certainly ranks among those blessings. My association with Dakota State University and this campus began in the fall of 1943 when I started here in the first grade at the Beadle Campus School, then graduating from General Beadle High School and then securing my bachelor's degree in education in 1959. I was thinking the other day, there probably are not many public universities in the United States where that is possible, where they operated an elementary school and a high school in a connection with the college program. Most importantly, I met my wife Marilyn, who is here today, on this campus when we were in college. As Governor Dugard said, very often we are apt to meet our life mate while we're in school or in college, and that happened to me. That was now over 50 years ago, and we're still hanging out together. Thanks, Marilyn. Yes, Dakota State has provided top-quality educational opportunities for generations of students since 1881. Opportunities for study and learning that have led to excellence and success for many thousands of graduates over those years. Today, Dakota State is at the top of its game, on the leading edge of educational advancement with information technology as a key component in its wide variety of course offerings. Madison is very fortunate to have this top institution in our city. To you graduates, today you've punched your ticket, or maybe one of the tickets for your future. And there's a big wide road out there ahead of you, and it's called your life journey. Take the high road. Obey the rules. Enjoy the trip. Don't forget your roots here at Dakota State University. Thank you all so much. Best wishes to each of you. Thank you.
Dakota State has a long heritage of providing outstanding education and producing successful graduates. Today, we are proud to recognize several of our graduates who crossed a similar stage 50 years ago. At this time, we will take a moment to recognize graduates of the class of 1961. I ask Ms. Kathy Regas, president of the DSU Alumni Association, to assist Dr. Knowlton in presenting a very special diploma to our guest alumni. Please hold your applause until all of our special alums have been introduced. The class of 1961, Harlan G. Goreth, Fairmount, Minnesota. Lane V. Hopkins, Mankato, Minnesota. Charles F. Langner, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Robert B. Nangle, Pipestone, Minnesota. Darrell G. Phelps, Mission, Texas. Congratulations. Again, congratulations to the special group of alumni. I am now extremely pleased to introduce a musical selection by the DSU Choir under the direction of Sandy Champion.
Thank you, Sandy, and members of the DSU Concert Choir for your musical contribution. I have to say, though, that I was sort of taken aback and disappointed because at one point in the year I was asked and did perform a maracas duet with one of the members of the choir at our pep rally, or pep as a part of the pep band. They didn't ask me to play maracas with that song. Next time. It is a tradition to ask a member of the graduating class to present remarks. And this spring, Bryce Nussbaum was chosen for this honor. I am pleased to ask Bryce to please come forward. Bryce is a digital arts and design major with a specialization in computer graphics and is graduating summa cum laude. Bryce has also displayed exceptional leadership outside the classroom. He served as fundraising co-chair for the Colleges Against Cancer organization, president of Kappa Sigma Iota Honor Society, and was a resident assistant. He has been a student senator for 3 years, serving as vice president this year, and chosen as the Senator of the Year for 2010. Please welcome Bryce Nussbaum.
Good morning, and on behalf of the Dakota State University graduating class of 2011, I welcome family, friends, faculty, staff, alumni, and our community to our spring commencement. I wish to thank our esteemed guest, Governor Dennis Dugard, and our affable president, Dr. Douglas Knowlton, for celebrating and participating in this ceremony with us. There are a large number of people out there today that we should thank. Today, I believe, is not only about us as graduates, but about those who have guided, mentored, and encouraged us through our wanderings. Robert Frost, in his The Road Not Taken, contends, 2 roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The Japanese poet Matsubashu implores us, do not seek to follow the footsteps of the men of old, seek what they sought. Whether you decide to follow in the footsteps of the past or to tread a less traveled road, I ask that we remember those who have guided us there. College was one such road. It was here that many of us made adolescent steps toward adulthood. It was here at this campus that we learned to exert our independence. It was here that we were taught to lead and to be part of a bigger whole. It was here in this community, comprised of so many different parts, where we found out that at one instant we could be the majority, and the next, the minority. It was here that we learned humility, respect, leadership, teamwork, and diversity. It was here at Dakota State University where many of us were encouraged, guided, and then let loose to find ourselves, to fall and to get back up again and again. I thank those who have helped us on our journey. I thank them for the opportunity to become the graduate, the person I am today. I am especially thankful for the guidance of my family and my friends. It is a wonderful experience to be able to meet my mother as an adult. It has been one of my greatest regrets never to be able to meet my father in such a way. I hope he would be proud. Dakota State University has given me this gift. I hope that each of you, as graduates, have someone in your lives that helped you on your own path. A commencement, by definition, is a beginning. I propose we take it as such. Explore the woods that Robert Frost penned. Seek what the men of old had sought. Just remember, always, those who have helped us to get here. Remember and honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. Affable. I think I'm going to have to get the dictionary out again to see if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going to take it as a good thing. Dakota State has had a partnership with the Air Force and the Army ROTC programs at SDSU for several years. It is my pleasure now to welcome to the platform today Lieutenant Tim Denhoud, representing Air Force ROTC.
Good morning. I'm honored and humbled to be here this morning representing the Air Force as a whole, the ROTC program. We'd like to recognize Addison Kissling. He's been with us for 3 years, and today he kind of closes a chapter here but opens up a whole new book with us leading people in the Air Force. So congratulations to him. And he'll commission this afternoon as a second lieutenant. One more thing of note, he is the only student we have from Dakota State. So if we have anybody that wants to step up and lead some people in the Air Force, we're looking. Thanks.
We also have our partnership with the Army ROTC, and joining us today is Captain David Cooper.
Good morning. At this time, I'd like to recognize Second Lieutenant James Farrell. Would Lieutenant Farrell please rise? Lieutenant Farrell has been branch chemical and will report to his basic officer leadership course on 5 June at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Upon completion of BOLIC, Lieutenant Farrell will report to the 10th Mountain Division at Fort Drum, New York on 4 November 2011. On behalf of the Army, on behalf of the Army ROTC program, I welcome you to the leadership ranks of the United States Army and its storied 235-year tradition. Lieutenant Farrell, you may be seated.
The quality of education on any campus depends on the faculty. Dakota State is particularly blessed, as I have said on many occasions, to have a faculty who are recognized widely for their innovation and their willingness to take on new challenges and their amazing dedication. They are also a faculty who care deeply about their students. I would like to take a moment this morning to recognize two of our retiring faculty. These two individuals have provided admirable service to the South Dakota system of higher education and to the alumni of the university through their passion for helping students, their innovative and creative teaching, and their dedication in and out of the classroom. In recognition of his 31 years of service to DSU, the South Dakota Board of Regents has bestowed upon Dr. Jim Janke the title of Associate Professor Emeritus of Finance. I ask Professor Janke to please stand and be congratulated on his retirement. Jim? Dr. Nancy Moose has devoted 30 years of service to DSU. The South Dakota Board of Regents has bestowed upon Dr. Moose the title of Professor Emeritus of Adult Education. I ask Professor Moose to please stand and be congratulated on her retirement. They both look so young to me, don't they? Each spring, 4 faculty are selected by their peers for special recognition. I ask this year's recipients of the Faculty Awards to stand as their name is called. The Ernest M. Teagarden Award for Excellence in Teaching, Dr. Vicki Sterling. The Merrill Hunter Award for Excellence in Research went to Dr. Josh Pauli. The Dwayne Wark Award for Excellence in Service to Dr. Glenn Berman. The Alexander Sandy Davidson Award for Excellence in Advising to Ms. Kathy Engbret. I now ask all the faculty here to please stand and be acknowledged for their great work. Degrees are authorized by the South Dakota Board of Regents. Today we are pleased to have Regent Patrick Weber participating in our ceremony for the official conferring of degrees. Regent Weber, the faculty of Dakota State University have determined that these candidates, comprising the 127th graduating class, have or will complete all requirements for the degree indicated. I am pleased to concur in the recommendation of the faculty and present these candidates to the Board of Regents for the awarding of degrees.
I'd like to offer you all a heartfelt congratulations. By the power vested in the Board of Regents by the people of South Dakota, I, as a member of that board and in its name, authorize Dr. Douglas Knowlton, President of Dakota State University, to award degrees.
Patrick's going to become an attorney. That may be the shortest speech he'll ever give. Thanks, Patrick. I now call upon several individuals to assist me with the awarding of diplomas. I ask these individuals to rise and be recognized, and I ask that the audience hold their applause until everyone has been introduced. Jesse Wise, Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Omar L. Gayar, Dean of the Graduate Studies and Research. Dr. Carrie Forbes Boyd, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Tom Halverson, Dean of the College of Business and Information Systems. Dr. Judy Dittman, Dean, College of Education. Dr. Vicki Sterling, Professor of Education representing the MSET graduate program. Ms. Sandy Anderson, Registrar. Ms. Jennifer Meese, Graduate Program Assistant. And the Student Marshals, Ashton Lansink and Jane Peterson. Today we are especially pleased to present doctoral diplomas to two graduates of our Doctor of Science in Information Systems program. I invite Dr. Omar L. Gayar, Dean of Graduate Studies and Research, to present the candidates.
It is my pleasure to invite Rajiv Bokralia, candidate for the Doctor of Science degree program in Information Systems, and his faculty advisors, Dr. Amit Deokar and Dr. Surendra Sarnikar, to please come forward. Rajiv Bokralia completed a Bachelor of Science degree at University of Delhi in 1993 and a Master of Science in Information System at Dakota State University in 2005. His dissertation is titled Using Academic Analytics to Predict Dropout Risk in E-Learning Courses. Dr. Amit Deokar and Dr. Surendra Sarnikar have served as his dissertation advisors and will assist with the hooding. I recommend President Knowlton and the South Dakota Board of Regents that Rajiv Bokralia be granted a Doctor of Science degree in Information Systems. It is now my pleasure to invite Don Dittman, candidate for the Doctor of Science degree program in Information Systems, to please come forward. Dr. Deokar and Dr. Sarnikar also served as her advisors. Don Dittman completed a Bachelor of Science degree from Dakota State University in 1998 and her Master of Science in Information System degree from Dakota State University in 2003. Her dissertation is titled Towards Improving Collaboration Success in Virtual Teams through Collaboration Training. I recommend President Knowlton and the South Dakota Board of Regents that Don Dittman be granted a Doctor of Science degree in Information Systems. I ask Ms. Meese and Ms. Anderson to please bring the graduates forward to receive their diplomas.
Will the candidates for the master's level degrees of Dakota State please rise and come forward? In the College of Business and Information Systems, Master of Science in Information Assurance, Justin J. Haar. Robert H. Mayer. Christopher Bird Puckett. Kyle Ray Stabner. Casey Swanson. Lejo Thomas. Barbara E. Zachariason. In the College of Business and Information Systems, Master of Science in Information Systems, Kyle Lee Cronin. Gina Joanne DeJean. Shireen Rosario Haig. Noura Nuhar Khanam. Satish Kumar Molinti. Venkata Ramesh Pasamarthi. In the College of Education, Master of Science in Education and Educational Technology, Macy Ann Knutson. Rebecca Ann Middlestead.
Will the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from Dakota State University please rise and come forward by row? For the College of Arts and Sciences, Carrie C. Oz. Sarah Nell Bouchard. Travis Bentley, summa cum laude. Cheryl Lynn Brueggemann. Sarah Ann Coyle. James Thomas Farrell. Jennifer Marie Frederick. Paku Hare. Shane Michael Hurt. Tiffany Irene Huff. Doyle Nielsen Holden. Chad David Hunt. Kimberly Ann Ireland. Jenna Jewell, magna cum laude. Brian Kissler, summa cum laude. Catherine Knipling. Peter John Krentz. Jordan Thomas Lindgren. Denise Ann Livingston. Daniel Jeffrey Massey. Stacy Lynn Mueller, summa cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Bryce William Nussbaum, summa cum laude. Brian O'Ban. Brittany Marie Otkin, magna cum laude. Melissa Jean, cum laude. Jessica Pepke, cum laude. Samantha Jo Rubidoux. Amanda Lynn Shager. Matthew Todd Sterrett. Dana Schockert, cum laude. Jonathan Warnsome, magna cum laude. Dur Yang. Rebecca J. Zenz. Rebecca Ann Ziegler, Center of Excellence graduate. For the College of Business and Information Systems, Christopher B. Arm. David Allen Au. Patrick Baker. Mallory Kim Bartels. Wanda Jean Behrens. Matthew James Bunker. Francisco James Contreras. Hannah Joy DeWeird, summa cum laude. Christy Ann Diltz, cum laude. Alyssa C. DeVergstein. Aaron D. Fields, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Travis Allen Fritz. Erica Grace Gall. Nicole Ray Guyman. John R. Gorham. Pratik Garoon, cum laude. Colin Hahn. Nicholas J. Heyer. Nicole Hansen. Ben Harrison. Carrie Lynn Wilhelmsen Hendrickson. Brooke K. Hibma. Lee Allen Hollenbeck, summa cum laude. Darren James Johnson. Paul B. Johnson. Sarah M. Jones. Jennifer Camps. Christopher M. Kale. Addison Alcott Orton Kissling. Michael Clarence Klein, cum laude. Aaron Christopher Kleins. Jennifer M. Lee. Andrew Manning. Robert Leroy Masterson, Jr. Abby Jo Melbrick, magna cum laude. Casey Mickle, summa cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Connor Patrick Mulhern. Craig Elroy Namkin, cum laude. Joshua Nelson. Nancy Nelson. Jeff Olinger. Robert Edwin Olson. Brent Pay. Zane A. Perner. Mark Robert Provendra. Tracy J. Preen. Jonathan Bradley Prindeville. Lynn M. Raymond. Rebecca Victoria Rohde. Don R. Rosso. Matthew John Shipper. Sean Charles Schreiner, Center of Excellence graduate. Jordan J. Shue, Center of Excellence graduate. Sarah Marie Schaap. Nicholas D. Smith. Jason Dale Swatus. Benjamin E. Terveen. Tracy J. Thorstensen. Devin B. Turner. Mitch L. Van Ruckel. Sarah Lee Von Manen. Tyson Weber. Nick Wajenki. Alexander Wines. Benjamin Weiss. Ryan Joseph Warsaw, cum laude. Heather M. Whitethorn. Roxana J. Vincent Williams. Michael A. Wilson. Joshua Bennett Windsor, magna cum laude. Alex Paul Woolman, Center of Excellence graduate. Lee K. Wong, magna cum laude. Michelle Renee Zeiderhoff. For the College of Education, Kristen R. Ammon. Margie Anthony, cum laude. Jamie Becker, Center of Excellence graduate. Christina Lenore Cunningham. Shane D. DeBoer. Stephanie Eggleston. Christina M. Elison. Kayla Ann Fiedler, Center of Excellence graduate. Ashley A. Hansen. Austin Gerald Hanton. Sarah Elizabeth Hefner, magna cum laude. Kayla Jo Hinsvark, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Kimberly Renee Kane. Caitlin Kramer, Center of Excellence graduate. Callie K. Lamp, cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Kyle Thomas McIntyre. Brian James McLaughlin. Blake Miller, cum laude. Dakota Lee Novotny. Sarah Marie Olson, cum laude. Jackson Parr. Ryan E. Poss. Brittany Rabbit. Ashley Sue Schulte. Randall Hope Shannon. David Allen Surata, cum laude. Mary Sparger. Carmen Rosemary Streitz, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Christina M. Wanandi. For the College of Interdisciplinary Studies, Marcella Marie Gimbel. Nikki Mann, cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Stephen Melbrick. The associate graduates from Dakota State University for the College of Arts and Sciences, Royal Archer II. Candy K. Bruce. Alana K. Broomer, with honor. Megan Carlson, with honor. Amina Gabray. Lindsay Joe Holmes. Jacqueline Stadelmauer. Ryan M. Wagley. For the College of Business and Information Systems, Jill Dolores Corbin. Stacy L. Feerick. Daniel J. Haugard. Cindy Lynn Hauser. Renee Jean Lukes. Shannon Lee McCoskey.
Will all of the graduates please rise? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon each of you the degrees to which you are entitled and all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Members of the 127th graduating class of Dakota State University, we are proud of your accomplishments. You may move your tassels. And I invite the audience to join me in applauding your success. Please be seated. We could have gone on with that for a while, but it is now my pleasure to call upon Ms. Kathy Regas, President of Dakota State University Alumni Association, to welcome our graduates as alumni of the university.
Graduates, I was reading a publication the other day called The Digital Native, The Digital Naive, and the Digital Divide, and I thought of today. You're sitting here as a graduate. You've had technology at your hands most of your lives. You've assimilated into your lives. You haven't had to learn or be trained on it. It's just been part of your life. If there's a new Xbox game that came out and I said, hey, let's give it a try, you'd be on the 4th or 5th level by the time I figured out the controls. If I had your cell phone and said, hey, text this person for me, you'd have the text sent and they replied by the time I found them on my contacts list. So yeah, you're the digital natives out there. Now enter the digital naive, and you'll probably laugh when I tell you this. I was sitting where you were 28 years ago, a long time ago. Rewind. I'm sure all of you probably have a cell phone in your pocket. We didn't back then. Your final papers, you probably use your laptop to get them ready. Well, you know what? Laptop, what was that? Well, we had these really cool big desktop things they put in Heston Hall for us with these floppy disk drives. Oh, and that dot matrix printer was like this big. It was so neat. And you know, when we turned on those machines, that black and white computer screen turned on and we saw the DOS prompt. That was so exciting for us. Windows, well, we got up and looked out the window. Any mouse involved was not connected to the computer. It was one that ran across the floor because we were in the basement of Heston Hall. So times have really changed from 28 years of graduates from Dakota State University. You know, but one thing will never change, no matter when you graduated, two things. One, be proud of your roots from Dakota State. I've been very proud. Be proud. That puts us a cutting edge above everyone else, just being a graduate of this prestigious school that's a leader. Number two, remember your roots. Don't forget that. The connections that you'll make with DSU alumni are so important. You know, 28 years ago when I was sitting where you were, I never thought I'd have the job I have today. Yeah, I've loved my career path, but I made it through my career path because of the people I met through the DSU Alumni Association. That network, that connection to people is so very important. Now, you're going to laugh when I tell you this. Today, my dream job, I'm doing it. I teach students how to build web pages in Dreamweaver, animate in Flash, make movies in Director, enhance images in Photoshop. You think I was thinking that 28 years ago sitting where you were? No, but it's because of my roots, the reputation of Dakota State University, and the connections I made because I stayed connected with the Alumni Association. That made the difference. So check out the association on Facebook. Read those emails. You guys are digital natives. It's easy. You can do it. And really, try to attend an alumni event, face-to-face interaction. It's really fun. Keep up your relationship with DSU. You will be so glad you did. I was. Congratulations, graduates, and welcome to the Dakota State University Alumni Association.
Thank you, Kathy. My congratulations to the graduates on your accomplishments and my best wishes for the future endeavors. On behalf of the faculty, the staff, and the students of Dakota State University, I want to thank you all for attending this event. We invite you to join your graduate and the faculty at the Dakota Prairie Playhouse across the street for punch, coffee, and cake in recognition of today's graduates. The DSU bookstore is also there with various apparel and gift items. This is a commercial message available at the Playhouse. Graduates of DSU, you have joined the thousands of DSU alumni who have crossed this stage before you. Many of those alumni are in the audience today in support of you and your accomplishments. I ask any DSU alumni who are present with us today to please stand to be recognized and remain standing. I would ask now that please remain standing. See, these guys don't follow instructions once they graduate. Those alumni will please remain standing for just a second. There's a moment here, okay? I ask now that all of the graduates stand and join those alumni in one united presentation. Thank you. To conclude this commencement, we ask that the entire audience rise and join in the singing of the alma mater led by the DSU choir. The words are on the back of your program.
Dakota State.